For the past few months, I've hosted a very niche podcast with my friend Courtney Caldwell, focused on the video game Overwatch, which is now a very popular professional esport. Every week on our show, Triggered, we talk about the matches and the strategies and the players. It's just a good time for us. And while I enjoy watching the professional Overwatch scene, Courtney is super gung-ho about it, cheering for one of the teams that it's local to her in Texas, the Houston Outlaws. I cheer for my local team, the San Francisco Shock, and for my hometown, Philadelphia Fusion. But there's a difference in the language that each of us uses when talking about these teams in our recaps. I gently mock Courtney for this, but it's only because I find it really interesting. When I talk about the teams that I root for, I refer to them in the third person. They won a map, they did well, they are absolute garbage, etc. When Courtney talks about the Outlaws, though, she uses the first person. She says, we won a map, we did well, we are absolute garbage. I don't think she's ever said that, but it's completely unintentional, but it's a good indicator that her level of fandom is higher than mine and that she subconsciously identifies as part of that team. We. There's nothing wrong with that in this case, of course, despite my mockery of her. But the same kind of language quirk can be used to tell when a person has fundamentally changed their thinking in a more dangerous way that I actually talk about quite often on this channel, which is radicalization. Recently, Swedish researchers took a look at a popular online forum with more than 1 million users, which had a sub-forum that was focused on immigration, and that was mostly populated by people opposed to immigration. They were able to analyze the use of about 60 million words posted in that subforum, and they were able to chart the use of those words over time from the moment a member started posting there up until the present day. What they found was that over time, new members started talking more and more like the existing members of the subforum, using the same language, the same diction, that became the standard for that subforum. They also started using them and they more often, referring to other people, immigrants. Even more interestingly, in my opinion, is that the new members eventually stopped using the word I so often, replacing it with we. They were quite literally giving up their individuality to be part of the group. As they integrated into this crowd of xenophobic nationalists, they were subconsciously becoming more and more likely to identify with the forumites while othering immigrants, driving them towards a more radical ideology. On average, it took a new member about 6 months to make that transition. 6 months! Obviously, this is just one study of one forum, and we don't have hard information on who these people were before they joined or after they joined, but that's such a quick change, and it makes me think of all of the people I know who have uncles or exes or cousins who, prior to the 2016 election here in the US, may have been described as conservative, and after seemed to very quickly become open, vocal racists and bigots. It's remarkable how quickly humans can blend into a crowd, even a crowd of actual tiki torch carrying Nazis. And just to bring it back around, it's worth noting that this isn't just a trait we see in jingoistic forum denizens. Pay attention to your own language. When do you say we instead of I? When do you say I instead of they? What groups do you subconsciously belong to, and how does that influence your own thought process? And how likely are you to get really upset when your team loses the Super Bowl or the Stanley Cup? How likely are you to get angry and throw something? How likely are you to riot in the streets? All of that might actually just depend on who you hang out with.